The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Friday in the Rev.
And it's the end of the month.
The end of the month,
So
yes.
maybe we should go out for a special lunch. I think we should go to porno lunch at Durfee High School.
Porno lunch. I thought they only served that at strip clubs.
I know. I guess Durfee is the $260 million for a porno hub. Isn't that a website?
So somebody hacked, so a student hacked in and was showing porno.
Yep.
And of course, they're going to diminish that. They're going to try to, because obviously, coming on the heels of the fact that our educational system for the city couldn't crack the top 200 in the state. So again, we have a mayor who was in that system for 30 years, then became a school committeeman and is now the mayor. And it has constantly gotten worse. So it shows how good they are at administering everything. They can spend a lot more money, but nothing ever gets fixed. And so now so they're going to say, well, you know, First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Yeah, but not in a classroom, not in the middle of a $293 million building.
That's it.
No, I guess, but then again, it probably fits with the graffiti and and the broken bathrooms and
Yeah, I hear they're stealing toilets now.
Oh, stealing toilets.
They're stealing the toilets.
Oh, that's it. Well, you know, the one thing about it, you know, every day's a new beginning over there.
What could you do with that toilet besides throw it off a highway overpass?
Sell
or
it.
something? That's true. They could sell it somewhere.
Might be able to sell it. Maybe there's a black market for toilets. I don't know.
So.
Who knows? Because who knows what? All we know is that they're really good at creating jobs for their friends and spending money and increasing our taxes.
60 new jobs in the school department.
Yep, 60 new. Yeah, well, maybe we can get to 198.
Maybe.
Maybe if they put 600 on, we might be able to get to 197.
Maybe.
Because obviously we have proven one thing beyond the shadow of a doubt. When it comes to government agencies, the performance is not directly proportional with the price. It's inversely proportional. The more money they throw at it, the more inefficient and ineffective it gets. And while you're looking at your phone, I just got something this morning. I got a text. Did you see the nice little video that their marketing company on Diamond has done?
Yes.
That's quite the little video.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I wonder how much it cost.
Quite a bit, but the school's going to cost quite a bit. But you know, that kind of brings me to something that it's a nice segue for us to get into. We have a tale of two cities. Well, not a city and a region. And we see the difference here. And let me preface this by saying, you know, I'm a huge advocate of vocational education.
Right.
And in reality, I think Diamond, they deserve a great facility because they are performing. Diamond is performing.
And they take care of their buildings.
Yeah, and they take care of them, but they're performing.
That's right.
You know, they are probably the best vocational school in the state. And so they really deserve this. So this is not about whether I think that Diamond needs a building, just like I didn't think Durfee needed a new building. This is about the reality of what we have with Diamond and Durfee and more taxes. We went through the incomes in those cities that are in the region, 89, almost 90,000 in Somerset.
Right.
And, you know, they're all 20 to 40,000 more, you know, in excess of 20, actually, from 30 to 40,000 more than the people of Fall River.
Yeah, Somerset alone is $84,000.
And, you know, they get tax increases to a degree, and they're incremental. But Fall River is facing an absolutely catastrophic increase in property taxes with this new evaluation. As you and I went to a meeting at a Flint neighborhood and talked to somebody from the assessor's office, and I said, do you think it's fair that a city like Fall River, where the U.S. Census Bureau said the houses were worth about $250 at one time, are now going to go up to $500 or something like that because these outside investors who don't care just throw money at it. They're just buying them up. They don't even come to Fall River. They just send you a letter and say, I'll buy your house because it's an investment. And if it doesn't pan out, they just write it off because they're multimillionaires. So what we have here is a dynamic where Fall River is going to go from 0 to 60 in taxes, and we have the lowest ability to pay in the area. So you add that to the fact that we're going to put Diamond on top of the water and sewer increase, on top of all this. We're going to have people of low and fixed incomes being, number one, the renters are going to be priced out. Owner-occupied people with moderate and low incomes and fixed incomes are going to probably lose their houses. This is a catastrophe, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm calling both our senators, as useful or useless as they are. They're throwing, they're sending over $33 billion to Ukraine. They're sending this another package to give, I don't know. I mean, it's horrific. They just told, I looked at something on San Francisco. They've bought, I don't know how many hotels to house drug addicts. And those hotels are in total disrepair now, cockroaches, rat infested, and they've actually increased the number of drug addicts. But that's what government does best. Spend hundreds of millions of dollars and make problems worse.
Like Star wants to do for Fall River.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're buying another 4-star hotel. And the mayor of San Francisco, which is the absolute prototype of what's going on, she actually would not have an oversight committee. So what's happened? All those hotels are in a total state of disrepair. There have been rapes, murders, assaults, all kinds of crime within those hotels by these drug addicts. And this is what the government does. Throw more money at them. Put them on a site. Get them out of the tents, stick them in a hotel, let us subsidize them, and let them run amok and destroy the property, and we'll just keep buying more property with our money. But this is what happens. And the problem is, to get back to Fall River, like I said, we do need Diamond deserves it. Maybe Fall River didn't deserve it based on their performance, but that's penalizing the students, which I don't believe in. But the reality is, Diamond deserves it. They're a high-performing school. It's a major piece in our society, have vocational education, to have people job ready when they leave. But the fact is, in the region, Westport can afford it, Somerset can afford it, Swansea can afford it, Dighton can afford it. Fall River can't afford it. That's all I'm saying. So what do? I don't know. Because you know something? Unlike the government, who doesn't care how many people they displace, if I can't afford it, I can't get it. I'd like to get a new car, but I can't. I'd like not to have over $5,000 coming out of my fixed income because of inflation, but I can't do a damn thing about it. I can't, pay 40% more for a used car. I don't like paying $17 at Burger King for a hamburger, a soda, and a fry. That's nuts. People of low income, it is a critical, and we see Rhode Island is looking at doing something for low income and fixed income people. Somerset had somebody run for selectman saying they were going to do something for people who lived in Somerset for over 5 years and have fixed incomes. What do I hear in Fall River? We went to a meeting the other night. More market rate housing, higher taxes. There's nothing we can do about it. Your taxes are going to go up. Tough crap. Live with it. You get displaced, nobody cares. But market rate housing is the panacea. But let's look at that, these developers that are coming in. I'm going to float a little theory out here. Who makes money when these people come in? Let me think. Lawyers who draw up all the paperwork.
That's right.
Bankers
That's right.
who finance the projects.
That's true.
And the developers.
Yep.
And who does our mayor always talk about? My lawyer friends, my banker friends, and the wonderful developers who are coming to Fall River to fix it, who, by the way, have been coming here for the last 30 years, and it ain't fixed. You know the old saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, it ain't fixed, so fix it. And it's not market rate housing. So with that I had to get that one off my chest, because when I saw the thing from San Francisco, my head exploded this morning. When I saw how many hundreds of millions of dollars that they're spending putting these people up in 4-star hotels.
They're not 4-star anymore.
I can't afford a 4-star hotel. You know, it's like, but they're putting them up, and then they showed the pictures. We talked about toilets ripped off, sinks broken, cockroaches running all over the place, rats. They had one resident who said the rats are so bad that she actually put up the tent she was living on the street up in her house to keep the rats away from her inside the hotel. So, I mean, this is it, people. Wake up, people of Fall River. We've got to get a council in there who is going to do something for the people of the city of Fall River and stop spending money. 60 new positions in a school department that can't break the 200 mark. I would say you got a lot of damn administrators. Maybe get rid of a lot of those people and bring in people who can actually educate our children. Because the reality is, who suffers? The children of Fall River. Because they're not getting educated. It's that simple.
Well, you know what was interesting about that study? Guess who came ahead of Durfee?
Everybody.
Besides everybody.
Virtually everybody.
Diamond.
Yeah, of course.
Diamond was handicapped at this because part of the score is based upon college readiness.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of students at Diamond don't go to college.
That's right.
Because they have a job as soon as they graduate. They're plumbers, electricians, mechanical engineers. They do something.
No, you're right. I've seen, I know a lot of people who graduate from Diamond. They're extremely good at their trades.
That's right.
Some of them go on to college, but as you said, their rating would be right at the top if they took into consideration the fact of their productivity in their field. Their vocational education, I believe, is second to none in this state. I truly believe that.
So do I.
But the fact is, they deserve it. But sometimes, maybe I deserve a Ferrari, but I can't get one because I can't even pay the insurance, let alone the price of the car. So, but I mean, it's to the point where, like I said, this city is on a verge of a total collapse. They think that when they build market rate housing, all these low-income people are going to disappear. What are they going to do with these people? As I said at the thing, and you were there, when I asked that, how do you feel about some retiree who's lived to the ripe old age and outlived their pension and is living on less than $22,000 a year? Take $5,000 out for inflation, actually over 5, so now we're down to 17. Then you look at their Medicare payments, we're down to about 14. Now they're going to live on 14 gross, not net, gross. How are they? And they're facing a prospect of losing their home that they paid for, lived their entire life in, and have owned it outright for the last 20, 25 years, and now they can't afford all the taxes and fees, while all the richies. And did you notice what was said at that meeting, CJ?
A couple of times.
Where are they going to start this reevaluation? In the South
The South End.
And what's the last place they
The North End.
where the highest price and the least impact will be?
That's right.
Because something, the price of houses in the North End is not going to change much.
That's right.
But the fluctuation from the South End through the inner city, like your neighborhood,
Oh, yeah.
you are going to get the large the extra large hammer with this one.
I'm going to get the Abrota.
That's right. You're gonna get it because before those 3 decades we're going for 2 something, high 2s, maybe mid 2s. Now they're paying 500,000, 600,000. These developers, they don't even look at them. Yeah, here's a $500,000.
I've said this before. I said it at the meeting. I'll say it again. I get every day either a postcard, a text message, or a phone call asking to buy my house sight unseen. Sight unseen.
Yeah, and
they're all from Boston.
Yeah, and I get maybe 1 a week or 2 a week because I only got a 2-family, and I, it's obviously I don't rent it. I didn't even know you got a credit for having it vacant because, as she said, some people just don't want the tenants and the grief.
Right.
So maybe I'm going to look for that abatement at some point in time. But look, people can't afford this. That's the problem. When people come out and they say they oppose Diamond, I don't think most people oppose Diamond. The fact is they understand that they can't afford Diamond at this point in time.
Right.
And that's a tragedy. Because if I had to pick between Durfee and Diamond getting a new building, it would be Diamond.
I would say
because
the same
they are
thing.
doing their job. And our public education system in the city has not done their job in decades.
Right. I want to read this to you. This came in yesterday. This is yesterday's text message. We're local home buyers looking to buy another house in your area. Have you thought about selling your house in Fall River by any chance? This came from a Boston phone number. A Boston phone number. But he's local. He's local from Boston. And these are the type of text messages and voicemails I get. And the funny part about it is, I don't give out my cell phone number. I give everyone my house number.
Yeah.
Because it will ring my cell phone. And how they get my cell phone number, I don't know.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing where they get this information
Yeah, the same problem. But, that's the thing. And didn't we do a program a while back about those developers that are buying everything up in southeastern Mass and the
Yes.
Cape?
Yes.
And they're a little shady?
Yep.
But see, that's the thing. They portray this like this is a great thing. The mayor, fawns all, the developers, they're so wonderful. They're helping Fall River. They're not helping anybody in Fall River that needs help. They're helping all your lawyer and banker friends.
Especially when they
But
come to
they're-
the mayor and they say to the mayor, I want a TIF.
That's
I
right.
want a TIF. Give me a tax credit. I want a TIF.
Yeah, they get all the benefits.
That's right.
And nobody looks around and says, well, the average per capita income in Fall River is $26,000. Well, one of the lowest in the state, if not the lowest in the state. It's half of the state average. You look at that, and then they go, oh, that's, this is going to cure. Nothing cure. What cures it is people who make money and have discretionary cash, and you're taking every bit of discretionary cash. The latest stat, I'm going to round off. The average household income in Newton is $154,000 and change. The average household income in Fall River is now 43 or 46, depending on where you go.
And that's a median.
It's about, median. That's about 3.5 times greater. But here it shows that the Office of Economic Development, they don't look at stats. They don't care about stats. They just lie. The fact is, you know what the most telling thing is? Believe me, don't take my word for it. Get online, go to the United States Census Bureau Quick Facts, type in Fall River, and type in Newton or any other city you want to compare, because you can make comparisons. Businesses, Fall River, 5,000 and change. Newton, 13,000 and change. Why does Newton, who has about 4,000 or 5,000, maybe more now with our population increase, maybe 9,000 less people, have virtually 3 times the amount of businesses? Well, for the rocket scientists in our economic development area, it's because people in Newton can actually support businesses. They're making $154,000. That's their median income. So they can go to the store and buy stuff. And when Fall River didn't even have a very high income, but they had income, When was the last time Pleasant Street had every store occupied? South Main Street was bustling when we had mills and everybody had a job. Because when people have jobs and they have discretionary income, they can support businesses, local businesses.
You know,
And
one of
that's
the
the
things.
problem. You know, you don't need to be Milton Friedman to figure that out. But apparently, they do.
You know, one of the things that's interesting, you brought up economic development. The Bristol County Economic Development Consultants needs to understand something, that it's poverty that keeps them working.
Yeah.
Because their money, the money they're paid, comes out of the Community Development Block Grant, which is used for underprivileged and impoverished areas. So before he starts pushing the market rate housing, he better start remembering that by pushing out all those people that are giving you your check, as you destroy it, guess what? The amount of money in the Community Development Block Grant is going to go down, and you're going to have to eat it.
Well, look, they'll never lose it because you know why? It never works.
Right.
We'll still have the poor people. They might be living in the streets and under bridges, but we're still going to have the poor people. Remember what I said at that meeting when they talked about, oh, the commuter rail's coming down here and we're going to have a, that's good. That's why they're buying up all the property. They're buying up all the property because they don't come to Fall River.
That's right.
And they don't know about this area. And what they're going to do at the end, I'm going to start off with one statement that proves everything. Point Gloria. Remember what happened to Point
Yes,
Gloria?
I do.
And I do, but they apparently don't. And that's going to happen again. It's going to be Point Gloria 2.0 because they're going to come down, buy all this property. Ultimately, it's not going to get filled in. They're going to just write it off as a tax loss and go on to their next multi-million-dollar project. And this is what I told the woman from the assessor's office, who's a very nice lady.
No.
And I said, when she said the commuter rail, I said, you really think that people are going to ride the commuter rail an hour and a half one way, an hour and a half back every day? Nobody's going to take it, number one. And if anything, it's going to be them shipping people down from the projects in Boston on it. I'll make you a nice, friendly bed of a coffee that in 3 or 4 years, that place will be a homeless encampment. It'll be the least used spur of the metro system in Massachusetts because nobody's going to use it. And secondly, anybody who lives in Boston and is moving out of Boston obviously can afford to live in Boston right now, which is the most expensive place in the state of Massachusetts to live and one of the most expensive places in the United States to live.
$4,000 for a one-bedroom apartment.
So you're going to tell me that somebody that can afford $4,000 for an apartment, when they come down to southeastern Mass, they're not going to go to Somerset. They're not going to go to Swansea or Dartmouth or Westport. No, they're going to come to Fall River. Of course they are. Why? Because what are the two factors that affluent people look at when they move, when they relocate? Educational system. We have one of the worst in the state. And crime. We are number one in that stat, though. So you think somebody that can afford to live in Boston is going to come down to this area and come into Fall River to live when they can live anywhere in the proximity of Fall River and anywhere in between Boston and Fall River? Because obviously they got enough money to survive in Boston. They got plenty of money to survive anywhere in between. And this will not be their first choice. And anybody who's trying to sell you that bill of goods, you better not buy anything because the next thing he's going to sell you is a bottle of snake oil.
Or the Braga Bridge.
Or the Braga Bridge. And maybe the Veterans Bridge, too.
Maybe, you never
it's
know.
a package deal.
Yeah, yeah, package deal.
Market rate bridges.
That's right, market rate bridges. It's going to be interesting. But again, you know, that meeting was very informative.
Yep.
How they were doing it. And then all of a sudden, did you notice that they changed it from the entire city to now select properties?
Select. Yes.
Any property that hasn't been assessed in the past 10 years. But then she said something totally contradictory to that. But we do a annual
Exactly.
reassessment.
Yeah.
You haven't been assessed for 10 years, but every year we do an intermediary reassessment.
Yeah. I think she meant going in the building. Look, I've owned my house for decades.
So have I.
Decades and decades, multiple decades. Nobody has ever knocked on my door to come in my house. And it'd say, well, you don't have to let them in. Well, I didn't have to let them in because they never came.
Exactly.
So I've owned my house. They have done, I'm sure they've done exterior stuff with the house. They walked around. They might have looked around, and they might have walked up the driveway and looked. But, I mean, this whole thing, it's kind of like this morning, they revealed that all the big lies that they always tell in Washington. We're going to have sanctions on the Russian oligarchs. You know that 3/4 of the Russian oligarchs have no sanctions on them?
Yes.
Yeah, there's only like one quarter of them are getting sanctions. Those are the people that don't support Hunter Biden.
And guess who supported not putting sanctions on the Russian oligarchs? Take a wild guess.
Who?
The gang.
Oh, yeah, well,
The gang.
yeah, of course, but
Acosta Cortez, or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
She's voted no to sanctions on
yeah,
the
the
oligarchs.
squad.
The squad.
Yeah, the squad. Well, look, they don't want anybody to investigate them because we know that Ilhan Omar has pumped almost $4 million into her husband for different, hire him to be a consultant, $600,000 in COVID relief. He's gotten over $4 million. These people, they're the biggest criminals in the world. They make Jazel, they should actually give Jazel an apartment and subsidize him for the rest of his life rather than putting him in jail when you compare him to AOC, all of the rest of these people. Because look at them, look what they get away with. But they're never held accountable. Look at BLM. They bought $1 million houses. Now they're being investigated. So you know what their response is? Oh, this is racist. You're investigating. Yeah, of course. People gave you money for racial equality, and you went out and bought all kinds of houses.
But that made them
through
racially
shell
equal.
corporations, by the way.
That made
so there
them
was nothing
racially
shady.
equal.
Of course. Yeah. They bought them through shell corporations because it was on the up and up. But listen, if you haven't figured out this is about rich versus poor, not Republican versus Democrat, I don't know. Go get some psychological attention, because if you can't figure out that they don't care about the average person in this world, I'll remind you of Bloomberg. Get rid of your car, take a bus. You complain about gas. You complain about food prices. Eat lentils. You can't afford meat, because I don't care. You're poor. And then if your dog gets sick, let it die. So I'm sorry, Mike. I'm not doing it. My dog's going in for surgery tomorrow, and I'm paying the price because I like my dog better than I like you.
But the thing is, that's true.
It's true.
That's true. So it's like me. I like my dog better than I like a lot of other people in the world. And it doesn't get any better. And even dogs, they tax. Even dogs, they tax.
Of course. If it moves, tax it. And if it doesn't move, tax it double.
That's right.
Assess it, reassess it, and tax it more. So
Exactly. And for the money grab, I was on the phone with you when I looked out my window, and what did I see? A parking enforcement officer writing tickets in my neighborhood. Not even downtown, in my neighborhood.
I don't know.
Using one of those brand new cars.
I don't understand it. We're flush.
We're flush with
We're
cash.
flush.
That's right. I don't understand where it's all going to.
So I guess if we're so flush, we can just forego all these new reassessments for people on fixed incomes and low income.
And wasn't that brought up at the meeting too?
Yes, it was.
Wasn't that brought up at the meeting too? And they said, well, you'll have to go to the city council and your state's congressional district.
I will be calling our United States senators today.
Yeah, you know what? Shovel it to somebody else. That's the way I look at it. Yep. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. It's been a real pleasurable week. Have a great weekend, and remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. Have a good weekend. Thanks for watching.